Welcome back to the WakeMan channel. Alright, so this video is going to be another addition to the Wakeboat ownership series, and in this video I'm going to share how I keep my boat clean and basically maintain the surfaces of my boat, which includes the gel coat and the interior vinyl and other surfaces, and then also the trailer and the wheels on the trailer. So I'm going to be sharing the products that I use and the methods. I wipe down the gel coat on the outside of the boat after every trip to the lake, and specifically if I go for a day trip, I wipe it down right after I get it out of the water, and if I go out for a weekend, I wipe it down after the end of the weekend or the end of the whole trip, and if I go out for a week, then I usually do it every 3-ish days, and that's to keep the water spots off. The longer you leave water spots on something, whether it be gel coat or a truck, car, in my experience, the harder it is to get off. Now, I'm sure that everybody has their preferences when it comes to cleaning and keeping your vehicles clean, whether it be boats or cars. But I'm happy with mine. I know there's going to be a lot of people that comment on this video and say you got to use Babe's hot sauce and all that stuff. And I've got reasons for using what I do use, and I'll explain that to you. So I'm gonna start off with my go-to. My go-to is for cleaning the gel coat after every trip is simply a mixture of white vinegar and water, and I add a little bit of Windex or glass cleaner, basically just for the ammonia. The reason I do that is vinegar is great for cleaning water spots, and it costs $4 for a gallon of it. So I can make a gallon last at least half of my summer, and that's a lot of trips to the lake. I use almost a full one of these every time I wipe down the boat. So that would be my main reason for not using something like Babe's hot sauce or one of those products that costs like $10 a bottle or more. I would much rather spend $1 or less every weekend or every trip as opposed to $10 every trip. And this stuff works great. The only thing that this does not do compared to a product like hot sauce or other product cleaning products out there is it doesn't give it a protective layer. If anything, this stuff will strip your gel coat or your car or vehicle of its protective layer. So you need to make sure that you are putting on a protective layer at least periodically in between cleanings or along with your cleanings. And for my protective layer, I use Meguiar's Quick Wax. The reason why I use Meguiar's Quick Wax is because on my truck, I love this stuff. This is just turtle wax, wax and dry. So as you're wiping your car down after you've cleaned it, it's still got some water on it. You're wiping it down so you don't have water spots left over. I love this stuff, this wax and dry. I think this is a great way of wiping down your car at the end and leaving a protective layer on. So I do this every time I clean my car, but this isn't necessarily made for paint. And I have used this on my boat, but I prefer using something more specific to marine, and that's why I use this Meguiar's Quick Wax. Now, I know there's plenty of other products out there that are similar to this. I know Babe's also has a product for waxing or doing a quick wax. And I'm not trying to knock Babe's. I'm just bringing it up because I know a lot of people are going to comment about it. So I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Babe's. In fact, it probably is a great product. But I like this product, and it's a reasonable price. So that's what I use. So what I would do on a normal basis is use my vinegar, half vinegar and half water with a dash of Windex to wipe down the boat every time. And I would use this Meguiar's Quick Wax probably about between 4 to 6 times a summer. Now, obviously, if you're doing a true wax where you're rubbing it on and then you're buffing it off, Those typically last a little bit longer. I know there's a lot of products out there nowadays that are hydrophobic and that are ceramic products, and I have tried ceramic products myself, but I prefer this. If you're doing a long-lasting ceramic product, I think it might be better, but they're very expensive. The thing that I've researched about ceramic products is if you get one of those that is very expensive, they're hard to put on, and also if water spots are left on them, they can actually be burnt into the coating by the sun, and you have to remove the coating to get it out. So I prefer Quick Wax, and it's not to say that I wouldn't use another product. This is just what I've been using lately. Sorry, I jumped out to grab a chair to sit on because that was hurting my knee. Also, another thing that you see that I have in my hand here is this is an old t-shirt. That's actually what I use to clean most things when it comes to vehicles. I used to wear a lot of white t-shirts, and I don't so much anymore. I used to wear them as undershirts, and I decided to start using them to clean things with. And I think they work great because they're soft. They're usually nice and soft, and so they don't cause any scratching or scuffing that I've seen. You know, a lot of people will use chamois. Chamois are great, or just microfiber towels of some sort. But I love using old t-shirts. That's what I use to wipe down my boat and do a lot of different things. So I'll continue to tell you the different products I use here, and then I'll start showing you a few methods. So for cleaning vinyl, I actually love using this Meguiar's Marine and RV vinyl and rubber cleaner. And this vinyl and rubber cleaner is actually what led me to the Quick Wax. I decided to try this at one point in time, and I had used Starbright before. I think Starbright is pretty good if you really need to scrub a stain out. But I love how this it does a really good job of cleaning, and it also leaves a protective layer on your vinyl. And I've been using this for a few years now, and I think it works great. And I usually clean the interior of my boat thoroughly between 2 and 3 times a year. I always do it mid-season, and then I do it again at the end of the season. Sometimes I'll feel like it needs another one somewhere in there. And now that might not seem like much, and that's because I'm kind of a little bit of a clean freak, and my boat is usually pretty clean in general, or pretty picked up. So you may want to clean more often, but that's what I do. And what I do with this is I actually use my bucket here. I take some of this and I'll pour it in here, and then I fill this bucket up with hot water, and then I use this to spray spots to get extra on it if I need to scrub a spot. I've got several things in here that I use. I've got a scrub pad that's kind of like a chamois on one side, has a little bit of more of an abrasive side on this side. I actually have these kind of soft bristle sort of pads here if you really need to scrub on something. And then I also have this, which this is what I use when I'm really trying to scrub a stain out. So this is just a soft bristle brush. Okay. And then at the very bottom, this is something I know there's going to be people that comment about and say something about because I've seen it before. But yeah, this is a magic eraser. Now, I very, very infrequently or rarely use this on vinyl. This I use more often for stains on the gel coat, which it works great for. So if there's like a black mark on your gel coat you can't get off, like bug tar or something to that effect, I've used these to take the rubbed on rubber on the bow from the bow stop. I've used this to take that off several times. There's different methods of doing that, but this one I've used to do that. You got to work at it for a while, but it does take it off. Every once in a blue moon, there will be a stain on the vinyl or interior that I'll use this a little bit on, and usually it's like in between. But you do have to be careful with this when it comes to any sort of vinyl-like material, rubber material. This is basically kind of like a very fine polish or a very, very fine sandpaper. So it is essentially going to try to take some of the surface off, which is not great for vinyl. So I mainly use this for gel coat. Once in a blue moon, I'll lightly use it on a stain, but I've had no problems doing it that way. When it comes to stains on the interior of my boat, let's say somebody had some wine or somebody had some tomato juice or something like that, anything that would stain the vinyl, I keep a few things on my boat, like a cleaner like this, sometimes a couple of different cleaners. I've used soft scrub before. But I just keep something on my boat that way that immediately when that stain happens, I can scrub it out. So this is my interior cleaning kit. Like I said, I love this McGuire's vinyl and rubber cleaner. You see a couple other products up here. We talked about this one already. Whenever I clean any vehicle, whether it's my trailer, my truck, my wife's car, I like using this stuff to just make the tires look nice and shiny and black. And I think it works pretty well. There's lots of stuff like this on the market. I don't necessarily think that one is that much greater than another. But yeah, this will just leave that black, nice finish on it. And I always try to make sure I shake it up, because if you start spraying it right away, especially when it's brand new, it seems like it doesn't do as good of a job. So you want to make sure it's shaken up really good. But yeah, I always use this on tires. So now I have Super Clean. So I had never actually thought about this product before, not really heard about it. But Jill over at Super Clean recently reached out to me and asked me if they could send me some of their product and basically try it out. And I basically responded by saying, yeah, I'll try it out and see if it works and if it fits the channel. And right after that, I asked a friend about it, and they knew about it and said it was a good cleaner. And then I did some research on it, but then I found out this is actually a really good cleaner, especially if you need to degrease something, or if you're trying to get some sort of adhesive backing off, but just a good cleaner in general. I did some tests before I started doing this filming. This is their wheel cleaner, and they actually sent me a box of stuff. So I'll just show you that here. So showed you the wheel cleaner already. This is their regular Super Clean, which just comes in an aerosol can, so it's easy to spray on. This is again their regular cleaner, but in a normal spray bottle. They sent several of these tops. So that's what that is. And then they have Super Clean foaming. So this is their regular cleaner, but foaming action. So basically you have foaming, you have regular, and then you have regular in an aerosol can, and then you have wheel cleaner. They also threw this in, which I thought was pretty cool. So some floor stain pickup, or kind of like if you have an oil spill, they call it floor absorbent. So you can dust this on your floor and it'll pick up stains. I thought that was pretty cool. So thank you to Jill and Super Clean. So I was a little skeptical because, you know, somebody's reaching out and asking if they can send me some stuff so I can put it in my videos. And I like to make sure that I'm being honest on my channel. So I wanted to make sure they work. And I must say that I was pleasantly surprised. I actually already used this aerosol version of the regular Super Clean on the boat numbers, so the previous owner's boat numbers. So I took all those boat numbers off, and like any decal, it left behind residue. And I literally just sprayed some of this on and let it sit for 30 seconds. And then I just was able to wipe it off, and there was like a little bit of residue in one spot still there. And I just kept on wiping with my rag, and it all came off and did a really great job at it. So I'm already super impressed by this. I also use this wheel cleaner. You can actually see that these two wheels look different. So I did a test run of this wheel cleaner on this wheel. And what's cool about this is it literally tells you to spray the wheel with cool water, and then to spray this on, and then let it sit for 30 seconds, and then go ahead and spray it off. And then you literally just wipe up the water so that it does not leave water spots. And again, I was pleasantly surprised. Normally when I clean wheels, I will, pressure wash the tire and the wheel, and then I come around with soap, and I have a cleaning mitt. And this is what I do with my car. I usually don't do that with my boat trailer that often. But on my truck, I'll go around with my soap and a wash mitt, and I'll go in every single groove and really wash it out, wipe it out, and then I'll come back, pressure wash it, and then I come back around if I want it to look great, and I'll use this stuff right here, this wax and dry, and I'll spray it on, and I'll use one of my t-shirts and wipe it out, and that makes my wheels look really, really good. I did not do any of that. I did not do any of the hand washing with soap and a mitt on this wheel. I did not go back with the wax and dry and spray it on and basically wipe it down. I literally just used this stuff. And I think it turned out pretty great. When I first bought this boat and brought it home, I was unsure whether or not these wheels were like a matte black, because if you see that one there, it actually looks kind of like it's a matte black while it's dirty. But you can see this clean one right here. I wouldn't say it's a matte black, but it's definitely not a high gloss. I would say it's probably like a satin black. But it turned out pretty great. And I did spray this on the tire too. And you can tell it's a little bit cleaner than that tire. But I think if you really want to clean your tire with this, you're actually supposed to scrub it. And I didn't do that. I don't care to get that clean on my tires. Usually, like I said, all I'll do with the tire is use this stuff. So I'll just do that right now. That's all I ever really do with the tire. I don't generally care about scrubbing the grime out of a tire, but I do like my wheels to look good. So I am going to show you how the Super Clean wheel cleaner works on that wheel. Another trick I want to tell you about on trailers is, you notice that this trailer is rhino lined, or what, I had this on my Malibu trailer as well, and they refer to it as the Elite Shielding. So I'm not sure what Extreme Trailers calls theirs, but it's basically rhino line. What's hard about that is it's really hard to get this to where it looks entirely clean. So what I'll do is I'll just, I'll pressure wash it, and then I'll wipe it down. And then what I'll do is I'll put this on it. So obviously that doesn't last all that long. It's kind of like this, it'll last about as long as that will last. But it definitely makes it look sharp. I'll do that every once in a while, but otherwise this is actually about as clean as you generally would see my trailer. I usually don't worry about cleaning my trailer, my wheels with my boat that often. I usually only do it probably 3 or 4 times a year, because you're just going in and out of the water all the time. So that's pretty much all the products that I use. I'm excited to start using more of the Super Clean products. One of the things I really want to test the Super Clean on is the sea deck in the boat. There's several spots on the sea deck in the boat from the previous owner that there's like little black marks, or where it's just a little bit dirty. And every time I've cleaned sea deck before, or the soft grip that Malibu has, what I'm doing is just pressure washing it. And if there's a bit of a stain, I'll just basically get some of this vinyl and rubber cleaner, and I'll just sit there and scrub it. But I am going to try probably one of these two on that. But just an FYI on Super Clean, they give you this chart, because I think it is some type of acid based product. And so you're supposed to dilute it to a certain extent, depending on what you're cleaning. So for example, and you can actually use this cleaner on almost anything. So just to give you an example, if you were going to use this on an oven, then you'd use full strength. But if you were going to use it on vinyl seats and tops, then you would use it in 8 parts water, 1 part Super Clean. In the letter they sent to me, they also said that it's best if you test it in an inconspicuous area, basically an area that you're not worried about messing up, because you don't want it to ruin whatever you're trying to clean. There are some cleaners like that, but all the cleaners that I've ever used in my life that do a really good job are going to have some sort of acidic property. The other thing that I've thought about that this cleaner would be great for would be if you need to clean the bottom of your boat. If you're one of those people that your boat sits in the water for a good bit of the summer or a good bit of the season, or maybe all year round, then you're going to be having a scum line. That's what I refer to it as, is a scum line, more like an algae buildup or a hard water buildup. And I think that this would be pretty great for that. I've used Starbright's hole cleaner before, and that's literally straight acid. I've cleaned the whole bottom of one of my boats with it before. And it did a good job, because I had a good buildup, and it was just from not cleaning it all summer. It did a great job of cleaning it, but I burnt my hands in spots. I learned quickly I needed to wear gloves. It said it on the bottle. I was just being stupid about it. But I actually have a scar somewhere on my hand In fact, I think it's right here from using that product. I don't think you'd have to worry about that with this product, but I think it would still do a really good job of cleaning the bottom of your boat. So that's another option for that. Again, I'm going to use this on several different things, but I'm going to be careful about it. So for the rest of this video, I'm going to clean some different things. I'm going to clean a wheel for you, show you how I do that. I'm going to spray down the trailer. I'm going to clean the interior of the boat and probably just show you some time lapses of some of that. All right, sorry, I somehow lost the footage where I tried to film myself cleaning the other wheel. As you can see, it is already clean. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to clean my truck wheel. So I'm gonna bring you over here to my truck, and you can see that, hopefully you can see that there's quite a bit of dust on here. And this is actually more of a high gloss black as opposed to like a satin black, which is what's on my boat trailer. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you the super clean process on this wheel. All right, so the big difference between doing this wheel with super clean and cleaning a wheel the way that I would normally clean a wheel is the fact that I normally scrub the wheel and then I wipe it down with that wax and dry, that turtle wax and dry that I showed you. So I would basically pressure wash it, then scrub it with a mitt and soap, and then I would come back and pressure wash again, and then I would wipe it down with wax and dry. In this process, basically I'm eliminating at least the washing with a mitt, and I'm basically just spraying a product on and letting it do the work to get all the grime lifted off of the wheel. So if I were to use super clean, I would probably just pressure wash it, spray on the product, come back and pressure wash. I wouldn't need to scrub it with a mitt or soap. And I'm not sure how clearly you can tell, but it turned out pretty clean. right, so I have finished cleaning up the trailer, the wheels, the inside of the boat. Now, the gel coat is mostly clean, pretty free of water spots. There's just a few spots that I'm gonna touch up, and I'm gonna use my 50/50 vinegar and water cleaner just to touch up those spots. And then when I'm done with that, I will go ahead and do the quick wax on the whole boat. So I'm just gonna do a time lapse for that. Alright, so that's it for this week's video. I hope this video helped you. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, if you have any thoughts about this video or ideas for future videos, please leave them in the comments below. And if you are new to this channel, please subscribe and hit that notifications bell so you can be notified of my future videos. I'll see you next week.